Now looking at action very briefly, I think that it is important to understand, I think one of the key themes that for me today is we are seeing divergence in performance of organizations. The gap between the best performing and the least performing organizations is increasing over time, and that's supported by research from Deloitte Center for the Edge. And this points to a world, and how many people come across the law of requisite variety? No, I would have thought this would have come into a learning context. It's 1958, Ashby-Roche, part of the cybernetics movement. But it is a lesson that is extraordinarily relevant today. And that is that as the world becomes faster moving and faster changing, unless you can adapt and change as fast as your environment, you are completely subject to the environment. You have no choice. You are buffeted by the forces of change. It is only when you have as much flexibility as your environment that you actually can choose where you go to steer your ship, be it that of an individual or an organization. I believe that the fundamental enabler is that of governance. And we look at shifting change, particularly to use of social tools, for example. There are a number of considerations, particularly from the senior executives and the board of directors. And those are, the first thing that comes to mind is often, what are the risks? What are the things that can go wrong? And, there are some things you can be concerned about. But you also, if you are accountable for the performance of organizations, you must also be considering the benefits. What can these do to be able to enhance the organization, to build greater productivity? And the thing which is often neglected is, what are the risks of not being able to create and support a more social organization? Including obviously loss of competitiveness, the ability to engage people inside the organization and keep them. So governance at the highest levels of organization is about understanding these issues and being able to put up some fences or boundaries or guidelines or parameters or policies or procedures within which experimentation can happen, within which extraordinary things can happen, with this understanding that these issues are taken into consideration. Without governance, it is almost impossible to be able to go on the journeys and the experimentation that are now valued to be created. So, just a few key points. I would like to try to summarize some action steps.